I like that President Trump says he's had enough of Putin's bullshit. I just wish he had felt like that, 10 years ago. So his decision was part of making this shift of now sending more weapons to Ukraine. But you can't overlook the fact that how could he not know that they stopped sending it? And why did Hegseth seem to kind of botch it? I'm telling you, this president's not being well served by some of the people he put around him. Some are doing a good job. Some are not. So now what do? Putin hears about the United States giving more weapons to Ukraine, crushes Ukraine with the biggest drone strike. And by the way, people think that means it's not as big a deal because they're drones. Wrong. Okay? Awesome killing force. Now Trump says he's ready to sign a punishing sanctions bill that's been around for a while. He has not wanted to have anything to do with it until now. So what happens next? What matters most? Let's bring in former special advisor to the Ukrainian military, Dan Rice, and former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Bill Taylor. Thank you each and all, as always. Dan, what did you make of the no weapons, now more weapons, in terms of why did that happen? What's your understanding? And second, what do you think has to happen now?
Yeah, Chris, it was clearly a miscommunication between the DOD and the White House. From what I understand, that the DOD policy Undersecretary Elbridge Colby made the announcement that we were not going to be sending weapons to Ukraine. That was not communicated through the White House, nor was it supported. So President Trump has reversed that, which is great. But in the meantime, it sends a very confusing message to our allies, especially to Ukraine and to Europeans. What has to happen now is we need to increase our aid to Ukraine. Every single weapon we send is defensive. They're repelling an invasion of Russian forces. So even though the Patriot does take down ballistic missiles, all weapons, tanks, artillery, shells, missiles, they are all defensive, and we should increase aid immediately, increase sanctions. We should also increase our investments into what's called the depth of magazine. All across Eastern Europe, they're trying to build up more weapons. They don't have the money. We should be lending them money to build that. That's in our best interest, America first, but it's also in the best interest of the allies. That's something I'm working on with the Department of Defense and Development Finance Corporation right now.
Ambassador, how can a Pentagon official change policy in a foreign country like what Dan is suggesting happened here? And can we sanction Putin in any way that really matters?
The answer to the last question, Chris, is yes, of course we can. We now have the ability to put some real pressure on Putin and Putin's economy that will cut off the resources, the flow of funds that support his attacks, that support his war machine. So yes, we can do that. The Graham bill, which has 84 co-sponsors that the president now is okay with, that could do that. That could have a big effect. On your first question, how could this happen? Yeah, Dan Rice is exactly right. Elbridge Colby stepped into a vacuum. There's no National Security Council that is operating at this point, so there's no coordination among the State Department, Defense Department, the White House. So that's the problem that they're going to have to deal with. But the answer to the question about what we do next, it's exactly what Dan said. The weapons need to go and increase. The sanctions need to go on. The resources, there's $300 billion worth of Russian money in European banks that can be used to buy weapons from American manufacturers for the Ukrainians to use. Those are the kind of things that need to happen.
Ambassador, Dan, I love you guys and I appreciate you. Although, Dan, I got to tell you, you spend all that time in Ukraine. People laugh when they say drone strike. You and I both know that is the scariest thing there is to me, is a drone strike. Because
these are enormous drones, Chris. They can take down a whole high-rise building. The people in Ukraine are taking a beating. It's pure terrorism. It's not war. It's terrorism. Russia is a terrorist state, and they need to be stopped. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Ambassador.
Be safe, and thank you for the help, Ambassador, as always. Appreciate the perspective. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.